Just preceding each of these great outpourings, extraordinary physical disturbances occur, and general unrest is felt throughout by the people. Such disturbance is due to the discord that has accumulated during the last of the preceding period. Generation of such inharmony is due always to the wandering away from the fundamental principle of life, and the human sense disturbance thus created pollutes the outer activity of mankind, the earth, and its atmosphere. It is to cleanse this and bring humanity back to the original purity of life that cataclysmic action takes place. It is following these periods that Kumars released an enormous outpouring of light to illumine and strengthen Earth's children, ultimately enabling them to make the supreme attainment. We are approaching another such period, and this time the release of the great cosmic love, wisdom, and energy, the mighty rays of light, will not only quicken the minds of the race, but the atomic structure of Earth as well, making it more luminous in our solar system. Never since these great lords of the flame came to Earth have conditions permitted such a great outpouring to take place as will occur ere long. Many who have seemed to become hardened by their former activities will awaken, as it were, almost overnight, and feel the nearness of the great God presence within each heart. Many who have been meek and humble, but holding close to the inner presence, will suddenly blaze forth, amazing themselves as well as others, by the transcendent light they will manifest. All will be done by the power of God love, and humanity will truly begin to realize that it is the height of folly for one part of God's creation to war against another part. The desire to bless others instead of themselves will almost involuntarily enter into the hearts of mankind and send forth a light that will illumine the rest of the way to perfection. Selfishness alone holds the children of this sphere in the bondage and misery which have been allowed to express upon earth. But when the light of the Christ expands the love in the heart, selfishness flees and returns to the sea of forgetfulness. Great natural physical changes will take place. Two great centers of light will pour forth their blessing to humanity. One, the glorious glistening presence of Shambhala in its dazzling radiance, and the other will appear in the United States, not, however, where any so far have been led to believe, but at a point which has not yet been indicated to outer channels of the world. During the present activity of assistance and intense outpouring of light by the great ascended host who assist the children of earth, hundreds of humanity will find their present physical bodies being quickened by the rapid raising of the vibratory rate, and as this is completed will realize that human physical limitation and discord have dropped away like an old worn-out garment, and that they, the children of light, stand forever at one with the flame of life everlasting and the perfection of eternal youth and beauty of visible, tangible reality. Beloved children of earth, you stand upon the threshold of the ages. Its door is being held open by the great ones of love, who ever invite you to walk consciously by their side in the light. No matter what the activities in the world without, walk with the light and in the light, regardless of appearances. Then will you find a master of light who has trod this self-same path before you, ever watches and stands by your side, revealing the true way. The cycle changes, and we enter a new dispensation that brings with it a safer, more powerful, and yet rapid means by which the one climbing the path to attainment is enabled to hold permanent contact with the great cosmic light. In this new order, the discipline for the neophyte will be the focusing and maintaining of his attention entirely upon the three highest centers of the body, and he will do all his work at these points. Only the centers in the heart, throat, and head will receive conscious consideration and attention. The entire effort of the aspirant will be to hold his attention upon these, for only by looking away from the lower centers will he ever be able to rise out of misery and limitation. The center at the top of the head is the highest focus in the human body, and there the silver cord of liquid white light from the great source of creation enters. When the attention of the mind is held steadfast upon this, the door of the soul is opened, and the threefold activity of the pure white light encircles the waist just below the solar plexus, cutting off forever the destructive activities of the animal nature in man. This permits his soul to leap forth into its complete divine activity, united once more with the perfection of its source, and eternally thereafter master of all human creation, which means the discords of earth. Sincere students should meditate frequently upon the perfect action of the golden light within the head, for it will illumine and teach the outer mind all good things. This is the light of the God within. One should feel it filling his entire consciousness, his body, and world. This is the light that lighteth every man that cometh into the world, and there is no human being in existence who has not some of this light within him. There are many throughout the earth who are rapidly awakening, and feeling the mighty surge of this inner light pouring itself out through them, and thus finding greater expression. If these will rigidly keep themselves harmonious, unflinchingly hold their attention upon the God Self within, accept and visualize the full activity of its dazzling radiance, they can encircle themselves in the threefold activity of the white light. This cuts off the discordant creation of the outer world. Presiding Master, bless those assembled, Brotherhood of the Royal Teton, and all upon earth, promising to be with them again the following July. The 12 from Venus then took their stations upon the circle in the floor of the audience hall. The entire mountain trembled with the mighty God power which they drew, and the light thus focused took the form of an enormous eagle, its body violet and the head and feet of gold. The entire room became filled with a blazing white light, forming one end of a great pathway of luminous essence, on which the 12 radiant beings returned to their home on Venus. The supreme vision on which those assembled gazed surpasses anything words can describe. As the great vibratory activity was lowered, a wondrous crystal radiance illumined the cosmic mirror, and the words peace and illumination to all the earth and its inhabitants, blessings from Venus, appeared across its surface. Each guest touched his heart and forehead, crossed his hands upon his chest, and bowed in acceptance of the mighty outpouring. all passed before Lanto and received individual instruction for the work of 1931. Then sat in deep silence and adoration under the great light. At the end of the meditation, a glorious burst of music filled the great hall, and heads were bowed to receive his blessing. His voice, clear, beautiful, and resonant, rang out. There is nothing supreme but God. There is nothing eternal and real but the Christ. There is nothing true but the light. These three are the one. All else is shadow. Remember, shadows hide, shadows mislead, and shadows make mankind stumble. He who walks the pathway of light stands true to the Christ and looks always Godward, lives in a world of his own, untouched by the seething vortex about him, yet ever working in it while the shadows last. These he turns his light upon, and thus compels them to pass into the sea of forgetfulness. There is no happiness apart from facing and adoring the one great God, the source of all. There is nothing permanent but Christ. There is no way to proceed through the universe but on the pathway of light. If you will arm yourselves with this eternal understanding of life, swear allegiance only to your source, God, stand true to the Christ, and carry the light, you will accept as your code of honor the obligation to love and bless life, no matter in what form it may be expressing, wherever you meet it. This is the eternal plan of existence, and whosoever knows that may proceed anywhere in the universe, explore all it contains, and yet it be untouched by whatever shadows mankind has created in its forgetfulness of whence it sprang. God alone is great, and only under the source of all greatness does all glory belong. He who knows only his source and refuses aught else is wise indeed, for he becomes permanent happiness and is master wherever he moves. Then and then alone may he become creator of worlds. Upon these he bestows his happiness, and in this activity really lives the divine plan for all. Members of the Brotherhood of the Royal Teton, reveal thou this plan to the wayward children of earth. Shed thy radiance upon their self-created shadows, and point them the way to the great central sun, our transcendent source. My light enfolds you, my power upholds you, and my love breathes through you to those who seek their home in the light. Beloved humanity, may this same mighty radiance shed its light to illumine, heal, and bless you with that divine love which will ever hold all close in the eternal embrace of the one supreme light. America, God bless you and clothe you now with the everlasting shadowless light.